Hello everyone, my name is WillX29 and welcome back to another horror story video. Today we're going to be reacting to a true horror story about an uninvited guest at my friend's party. I can already tell some major boo-boo about to go down, but let's continue.
This happened around the year 2011 when I was 13.
I'm 14.
One day my friend was planning on throwing a party at his place, so my older cousin drove me there.
Really?
It took about 4 hours to get there, and when I finally arrived, it was around 8 p.m. A few hours later, we were having fun, but out of nowhere, I had to use the bathroom really badly. About 5 minutes had passed, and while I was in the bathroom, I heard a crunching noise coming from the woods. At first, I thought it was someone who arrived late to the party, but all of a sudden I heard loud banging on the glass. I started to think it might be my friend just looking for me, so I told him that I was inside the bathroom. However, it wasn't my friend.
I just want to say something really quick. Why are there nothing covering your bathroom windows? That's going to get you killed clean. And look at this. And look at this boo-boo head, man. Look at him. His hairline receding. This man got the forehead of the size of the Pacific Ocean. Sam Adams' head looking self.
It was a guy who looked like he was in his late 50s. He said that his car broke down. He then asked me to help him, but I was already paranoid about strangers.
I ain't helping you.
So I simply told him that I couldn't help him. He nodded his head and walked away. When I was done using the bathroom, I went back to the room where my friend was.
This man did not learn to wash his hands. See, no wonder all these COVID cases are going up. Well, I mean, it's kind of going down here in Jersey, but other places, it's going up, man. It's going up.
Told him what I saw and what the man said to me. My friend looked like he just saw a ghost.
He looked like he just
Then he finally said that for almost 2 months, this man was stalking his entire family. And also saw him from the bathroom window tons of times.
Them by curtains.
They asked the police to check their area several times, but they couldn't help his family.
Man, the cops
when he said that, I thought he was overreacting until I heard the same banging noise now coming from the door. It was more violent now. Everybody paused what they were doing and looked at the door in shock. One guest broke the silence and said it was probably only the pizza delivery man.
Let's throw him out.
But my friend told me not to answer the door at all costs. I looked through the peephole, and there he was. The same guy I saw through the bathroom's window. He had a psychotic-looking face, and was licking his lips.
Nah, that's a pervert now. That's a pervert, pedophile, murderer, Murder McGee-looking ugly head self.
Non-stop. We all just stood there in silence and hoped that the man would go away. But after a few minutes, the loud noise came from the basement. The guy threw a brick at the basement's window and crawled through it. Suddenly, it sounded as if a gunshot echoed through the entire house. My friend and most of the partygoers screamed and ran out of the house. I stayed behind along with a few others. One of the older kids was trained in martial arts, so I saw him assault and attack the man until he was shot. Afterward, the man escaped and ran into the woods. The whole scene was chaotic now. An ambulance and police car arrived soon after, and fortunately, the kid that was shot survived. After a few days of intense
I'm back.
investigation, the police went to my friend's house and told him that they caught the guy.
That's good.
It turns out that he was living in the woods.
He chased some boys.
He also kidnapped 3 kids, but luckily they were found in time and set free. But they also found out that he had already killed a few kids already.
R.I.P. to
So after that, he was condemned to death for murder.
No, wait. I want everyone right now to comment down RIP to those kids. RIP. Alright, let's take a look at this one. I was kidnapped, true horror story.
When I was 23, my boyfriend and I broke up, so I was in the process of moving away from my hometown to Houston.
Alright.
I just wanted to start over somewhere new. It was about 3 a.m. and I was driving through a small town in Texas. On my way to Houston, when I decided to stop for gas. It was pretty empty, but the gas station was open. As I was filling up, looking at my phone, I saw a truck pull up to the pump on the other side of me.
Word?
I wasn't paying any attention until I put my phone in my pocket to put the nozzle back, and I saw a man just staring at me. I smiled at him, turning to put the gas cap back on, when I saw 4 more men, 2 on either side. I thought that was weird, but I just wanted to get in my car and go. As I went to pull the handle on my door, they attacked me. I was screaming and kicking and fighting as hard as I could, but I wasn't strong enough. 2 of them pulled me into the back seat of the truck while 2 of them hid. I ended up draped over their laps. I was still trying to get free, but it was hard to move with their weight holding me down. I started to cry. I have never felt so weak in my life. I started scratching one man thinking, if they kill me, his DNA will be under my nails. They pulled up to a motel and carried me inside of a room. I was screaming again, and the oldest looking one started hitting me, telling me to be quiet. One of them said if I was good, they wouldn't hurt me. They held me down on one of the beds and tied my hands and feet together with a belt and some kind of thin string, like a shoelace. I was panicking and still crying, just telling them to let me go. I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't tell anyone, that's what I told them. They started talking to each other.
They ain't gonna believe you. Listen to this. Oh, please, Mr. Kidnapper, let me go, and I won't say nothing. That ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work.
In another language, one I couldn't recognize. Looking around the room, I saw bags and beer cans.
Hold on,
lots of
lagging. No, hold on, I gotta figure out.
Some kind of thin string, like a shoelace.
Okay.
I was panicking and still crying, just telling them to let me go. I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't tell anyone, that's what I told them.
They won't believe
They started talking to each other in another language. Looking around the room, I saw bags and beer cans. Lots of beer cans.
These guys getting drunk.
It smelled like they had all been staying in this one room with 2 beds for a while. I don't really want to get into what they did to me, but at some point, one of the men said they needed more beer. They decided the smallest one was going to stay in the room with me. So after the other 4 left, it was I remember thinking, I could probably beat him up if I get loose. I asked him if I could use the bathroom. And when he untied me, I bolted for the door. I swung the door open, and he grabbed my arm. I yelled, "Get off me," and he let go, eyes wide. I ran down the street, no clothes on, and jumped in front of the first car I saw. It was a confused elderly man.
What you doing this time of day?
He rolled down his window and yelled, "What are you doing?" Like I was ruining his morning or something. I told him I needed help and that I was kidnapped. He drove me to the police station where I was given scrubs and could file a report. They ended up saying I needed to go to the hospital for an examination so they could record any evidence that the man may have left on me. I just wanted to shower and go home, honestly. I just wanted to talk to my mom. They found the men the same day. It turns out they were all brothers. They didn't say what they planned on doing with me after, or why they did it in the first place.
Because
they claimed to be all blackout drunk at the time. I ended up moving to the other side of the country, and even though I know they're still in prison, I get nightmares about what happened. I don't use my phone at all in public anymore. And my current boyfriend says I'm too paranoid. but I have to be ready.
I got kidnapped, boy.
I never want to feel that weak again in my life.
The series, guys. We do it. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe and make this channel grow. Alright, guys. Peace. I love you all.